Happy Monday, the 27th, our last week of July. Where'd the month go? It's having that holiday on the weekend that like
Yeah,
set it up for me.
one
Um,
twelfth of the Mary Kay year has already passed.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a couple quick announcements and then you're gonna love the training for today. I pinky promise. And shout out to Jade, who has earned Leaders Lunch three times over, actually, by welcoming two new teammates this month. She's officially a senior beauty consultant.
Yay,
So proud of
Jay.
you, Jade. And even though she works overnight, she is still on this meeting. So when you're dedicated, it pays off, ladies. Those who show
Those
up
who
go
show
up.
up go up. There's a reason we say that.
Yep. So still time to earn your Leaders Lunch spot, ladies. So promoting yourself, adding a new teammate, selling enough where you've ordered 1,000 wholesale, all the things will get you to Leaders Lunch. And then remember, when you have 5 or more active, we buy your lunch, which is super fun. So I don't know. For me, I love free meals.
Right? Tastes better when you don't have to pay.
Right? Um, and then we have our fun prize board. And they are cumulative prizes, which is new for us this year. So whatever spot you end up on, you earn all that prize plus the ones previous to it. And I'm just so over the moon about Growth Table with Rachel Zarling, $1 million sales director, a legacy leader in our company, doing the training in August. You do not want to miss that. And I know Jade has already earned it, which is so exciting. So I can't to see who else earns that this month. So fun. And then Wednesday, you can Crucial Unit, Christofiak Unit, you guys are also welcome to join this on a Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern on YouTube and Facebook. Will be Common Questions and Misconceptions Part 2, where Olivia and I share the juicy details of what questions and things people have asked us. Commonly about Mary Kay, and this one is going to be pretty funny. So you're going to want to be on. It should only be like 20 minutes, but it's great to have anyone who's been kind of curious or like one toe in, like thinking about joining Mary Kay. Like this will be great for all your customers, friends, people to watch and be on. So Wednesday. Okay. And then Monday for our local chicas, Diane and I and Heather have Glow and Grow in Hamburg. So consultants be there by 6:30. We're gonna do some training, some reco, and then at 7, any guests that you have can enjoy some pampering, whether they want to put their face to bed, do a little foundation match. Just let us know ahead of time. If you could let us know by Sunday at noon, either way that you'll be attending or not attending, and if you have plan to have guests, it just helps us be the most prepared when you can tell us ahead of time, because Diane and I do like to prep the day before, not the hour before. So please let us know ahead of time, so we can respect your time when you get there. Okay. And then if you haven't tried the new Skin Vigorate Duo device, oh my God. Like the deep clean you get with this device, the fact that you don't need to replace fresh heads, hallelujah. Moisturizing has never been so fun. And Diane and I will have it there on Monday for you to touch it and try it. But girl, y'all need this brush. You need one. You need one for yourself. You need one to demo. You need one to be able to sell. And all your customers, when they touch this, there's no way they're not going to want it in their bathroom. So definitely. And here's some specials that I shared, and I think I sent this to you, that you
Yeah.
can use to help get yourself some bookings on the date book, because people want to be the first to try the new stuff. And this device is like, insert angel voices. So even if you saw a customer 3 weeks ago, you can see her again because this device wasn't out 3 weeks ago, right?
Jade wants to know how you sanitize it.
Oh, it's a great question. So don't use alcohol. They were specific to say like don't use alcohol. I've been using just like any of the cleansers, and I just wash it really nice in the sink. Being careful not to get that metal part wet, just like the head part, and then patting it dry and letting it dry. So just the cleansers in my fingers.
And I would say no alcohol because alcohol dries out silicone, makes it brittle.
That makes sense. Why? Okay. So I saw someone like, don't do it. I'm like, okay, I'm not touching it. Sounds good. Yep. Awesome. All right. So yeah. Any other announcements that I forgot, Diane? Those are like
I don't think so. Well, just the Ryan drawing, words are hard today. Tell me, that when you have sharing or hostesses, the drawing in September.
Oh, okay. Yes, the Sadler unit did not do that, but I think the Kuchel and
Ah,
Kostofiak unit are.
okay.
Sorry, Sadler unit, y'all didn't get your entries in last time, so I was not paying for it.
This is an interesting thing. I think that I may use the same standard, Danny. Thank you for saying that. Like, besides my entries, I'd like to see some unit participation. Yeah.
So, um, thank you for that reminder. Okay, so week 3 is attract number grows. We saw that with Heather Kostofiak as she worked and her unit worked to finish their debuting unit. So I'm going to give you some ways that I like to track. I did put these in boards in the handouts folder if you want to print them. Um, I love me a bubble sheet because let me tell you, I'll be messaging people, and in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to remember to get back to Sonia. No, I won't. It's unrealistic. My brain goes off into a billion different places, and then I never end up following up with Sonia, and then that lead dies. Okay, so this is how you're going to track who are you reaching out to. Did you call, whether you called them, texted them, Facebook message them? You're going to want to put their name on the line of who you're reaching out to. And for me specifically, like I will do like a super bubble sheet all in one day. And then I use that bubble sheet for the next several days, like that week, keeping it that month to keep tracking off like how many times I've reached out to them. Because statistically, we know that sometimes it takes, I think it's actually, I'll read the exact quote and I have it in boards too. Cause yeah, my brain is not braining today. Full disclosure, guys, I have a migraine and I apologize. It's life. Um, okay. Sales stats. 80% of the sales or bookings are made on the 5th through the 12th contact. Okay. I usually find that 5 is where I like close them, or if they say like, no, thank you. Usually I get to 5. So 2% is on the first try. 3% are on the second. 10% are on the third. And then again, 80% 5th through 12th. Like, I mean, if you're not reaching out to people multiple times, you're leaving those bookings, those sales all on the table. So for me, like when I reached out to them once I start reaching out to them multiple times, I'll just put like cute little check marks next to their bubble. So when I see like 3 check marks, I know I reached out to them 3 times, or I see 5 check marks 5 times. So for me, that's how I kind of track how many times I reached back out to them. And I tend to do like the whole sheet in one day. So I don't have to be like, okay, that row was the 3rd and this row was the 7th. You know what I mean? So I like to kind of do it all at once and like just do like a super bubble day. That works out really well for me. I love doing birthday reach outs specifically. So I'll go through like everyone. I just actually did this the other day. I reached like pretty much everyone that has an August birthday has gotten my birthday message from me. And if you don't know my birthday message because you're newer, let me know. I can send it to you. But I love booking birthdays because people always want to like, it's a reason for them to splurge on themselves and, to like get the girls together and stuff. It's a great reason when it's somebody's birthday. So for me, that's my niche. That's my favorite. So you want to track their names on a bubble sheet so you don't lose anybody. It's very easy to lose track of people. So bubble sheet for me is a must. And then moving on from that, sometimes it feels like you're working and then like the whole day goes by and you're like, what did I actually do today? That happens to me sometimes. I lose, like, I feel like I worked all morning, but like, what did I actually do? Oh, I tidied my desk. That was not an income producing activity. Does my desk need tidying? Yes. Does it help make the boat move faster? No. So, depending on your activities, is kind of how you can judge like how much or how not much you're working your business. Okay. So, here, and again, this is in boards, but this is like a nice little tracking sheet that I came across that really shows like kind of giving yourself a reality check of like how much are you actually booking. So depending on the activity is like how many of those circles that you would color in. So like Jade is on our meeting today. She gets to fill in a circle. because she's here working her business, right? Or if you're watching the playback, you can color that in because you attended your unit meeting, whether it's live or in person. That's why we record them, right? Um, Having a facial, like bringing a guest to do a session, you know, color it in. Um, the if you listen to any like training calls, like the $1 million message that changes every Thursday, or maybe you're listening to trainings on In Touch, color in a circle. So are you doing, oh, birthday messages are actually on there. It's funny. So like 10 birthday messages, because those are kind of like a colder lead, like they didn't enter to win something. You didn't physically see them in person. Usually you're just like, hey, you won. And they're like, what? So, 10 bubbles would essentially be one of these circles. Getting referrals is the circle. Getting a new teammate is a whole 5 circles. That means you're really building your business. So if you really want to track like what you're doing, this is a really great way to do it. And you can even so much as like when you're coloring in and put like an A or a G or an N. So, like what types of activities were you doing? Not just that you filled the bubble, but like what were you filling the bubbles with? And then the booking attempts are really cool. So you can color those in or even like outline them. Sorry, my dryer's going. um, but like with your bubble sheet, let's say you did 10 bubbles and 3 of them booked, like I would do 7 black and then 3 pink. So you can kind of have a nice visual of like how many times did you try and how many of those times prevailed. So then you kind of know your average too. And once you learn like your face average, your booking average, which your booking average will statistically be a third, saying yes. That's my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not running on all cylinders. Yes.
Danny, you talked about your booking attempts color in like 7 black and 3 pink
Oh,
for
yeah. So then
for
you
our,
can, yeah, it's nice to visually see like the work that you're doing and your visuals. And then if you're seeing that your booking average is really low, maybe it's like 10% instead of 30%, like then that's like when you want to evaluate, like contact your director and be like, hey, here's my average. What could I be doing? Like, how could I tweak this language? Like, that's what we're here for. We want to help you tweak things because sometimes it's not like that you're asking, it's just how you're asking, like the wording of it. Sometimes, like, Diane's the master of words, of how to word things for sure. I never don't
so
know how to say something. She says it so much more elegantly.
well, thank you. I have a question for you about booking attempts for our legalist consultants.
Okay.
So if you're working with your previous bubble sheet and you're reaching out to, um, Jill Smith, and it takes you 3 or 4 attempts before you and Jill connect and it goes somewhere or goes nowhere. Would you take each of those communications with Jill Smith as a booking attempt, or would Jill Smith be like one booking attempt?
That's an excellent question. For me, I would make Jill Smith, no matter how many times I reach out to her, I think I would make that personally a heart. But on my bubble sheet, I would, oops, where'd it go? On my bubble sheet, I would see like all those check marks.
Right. So
Yep.
a booking attempt is you're attempting to book a person. So it doesn't matter how many times you attempt to book said person. She's still just going to be one booking. So
Yeah.
that's yeah. So
Yeah.
that so
For me,
that
that's what
if
I would
you're
do.
yeah, if you're new and you're trying to like, how do I track this? So just keep that in mind. And for my visual learners, like if I had this sheet full of letters, it would stress me out. But you can color code the activities at the top and use those colors on your sheet if it's helpful to you. So if you know your goal is 4 new bookings a week, then you might color code that in orange, right? And then you stripe across orange at H as orange. And then as you color in your circles, you can see you have your 4 orange circles for the week. So you got your 8 bookings, so because we know it takes 8 to hold 5, right? Like statistically. So if you are focusing on a certain thing, or maybe you notice that you're not sharing, so you're sharing our opportunity with a video or survey is K, maybe you make that red because your goal is a red jacket, and then you're looking for those red circles on your sheet. It might be a little more visually motivating to you than just seeing the letters, if that helps.
Yes. Thank you, Diane. That is a good, I love some color coding too. So I love that
Yeah.
idea.
It just creates clarity in your brain. It's a quick way to assess, it's why pie charts are popular.
Yeah. And then kind of to bring this back to last week, Diane did that phenomenal training about the weekly plan sheet. And if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it because it's so good. It's in the playlist on YouTube. Um, but if you're like booking your Mary Kay time, like your office time, and you're not sure what should you be doing, maybe you're not sure what your six most important things list would be, have this IPA tracking, your income producing activity tracking sheet with you. So then you know, like when you're booking, when you're doing your six most important things list, you can kind of pull things from here to put on it. And then you know what you're going to do in that little pink box of, your Mary Kay office time. So definitely go back to that trading because it's so, this is a good life skill to have. Honestly, not even just a Mary Kay skill, but a good life skill is that weekly plan sheet in your to-do list. Oh, I know I was going with like, so once you figure out how many, people it takes you to get a booking, maybe it is like, we'll say 3 out of 10. And so then when you're trying to make goals, you can make a realistic goal and you know how much work it will take you to achieve that goal. So if you book 8 appointments and 5 of them hold, and you tell me you want to have, 10 parties in the month, then you can go back and be like, okay, this is how many booking attempts I need to make. This is how many parties I need to hold or book so that I know how many I'm going to hold. So you can use that information to predict what your next month is going to look like based on the work that you're willing to put in. So it really makes it more systematic. Does that make sense? Okay. So I got like kind of predicting things. So definitely let us know what questions you have. Put them in the chat or shoot your director a text. But these, I would really encourage you to print them out, have them physically in front of you. Of course, you could put it in Canva, but like paper is powerful. Like writing things down is just powerful. I would love it if you're a working consultant, like send me a picture of this at the end of each week. At the end of week one, like, by Sunday next week, send me a picture of this. And I would love to see like how your week went, like what colors you had booked in or what letters, whatever method you choose. Like you are never bugging us by sending us your six most important things list, your weekly plan sheet, your IPA sheet. Like, what might help too is keeping it all in a folder so that you're not like paper here and there and everywhere. Like have like a hot pink folder that you've got your weekly plan sheet in, you've got your bubble sheet in, and you've got your IPA sheet in. Like have like a little power folder that you can keep together. You can even just keep that with your planner. It's a reason to buy a cute new purse that's bigger that can fit it all too.
Right.
Or a thrifted purse. Okay, but that's all I got. Keeping it simple on our lunch half hour. Excuse me. Anything to add, Diane?
I just think that what you said before about what am I doing when I have my desk time, tying your weekly tracking to your weekly plan sheet to your six most important things, you'll see that your six most important things will start to get more strategic. There's a more advanced time management training about, is this important, urgent, delegatable, dismissible? And then a lot of things will fit into 2 different categories. Some things are urgent but not important. Some things are important and urgent, right? Like some things are important but able to be postponed. So when you have very limited time, the tracking really helps you be more intentional, but it starts to align your activity with your goals. Like I'm sitting at a messy desk right now because it's not next on my list. It's important. It's not important enough to derail the actual IPA tasks that I have to do. And that clarity is really where you start to, so one of the things we really will focus on in the future is also about where's our energy coming and going, where is our energy, how is it harvested, how are we investing it, expanding it, multiplying it, and where does it sift through? Remember we talked about the hourglass being like a colander in this basin. If we're not on purpose, our sand is just leaking out. Like our time can leak out. Well, our energy can be the same way. So you want to make sure that your energy is also another finite resource, and that includes mental energy. So if you're spending a lot of time trying to figure out what to do, it's less energy to do with. So, Sandy quoted Mary Kay the other day about, what is it? 10 minutes of planning is worth a day's worth of activity, or an hour's worth of planning. The planning really is important, but this is a replicatable plan that you can use week after week after week. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then your energy can go towards execution. And the more you are aligned with week one, where you had your goals and your affirmations, right? And then you figure out your time, how it relates to that. And then now your activity in such time aligned with your goals, right? So suddenly it becomes less important to have busy work, right? Like my favorite way to deliver product is right out of the packing peanuts with no stickers on the box, right? Because that's when you know that you're in the flow, like it's coming and going fast, right? Like you don't have time to play with your inventory. Because isn't that like a default when we're like feeling a little like I should do some Mary Kay, but we don't have clarity? We wind up in busy work, right? But like if you think about it, like I mean, by in the replay chat, tell us how many of you right now are working at a messy desk or have a little inventory mayhem that needs a little straightening up, right? Or maybe your profile cards and your sales tickets need a little admin support. But now, seeing that you get points for your $1 million message, and those are usually 10 minutes, right? What could you do in 10 minutes at your desk while you were listening to $1 million message? Right. So now, like you're aligning that motivated, that dopamine, that serotonin, all that starts to align and it will help to support your goals. So this is probably one of the least sexy parts of the business is the tracking. I just saw a quote today by Amy Kemp that said, instead of being overwhelmed by the massive size of your goal, be inspired by the small incremental pieces that you can do every day to move in that direction. And this is those small incremental pieces, right? The goal poster is sexy, right? We got the things on there, we got the celebration, we can envision it. But it's like your bikini body, right? Your bikini body is just pushing the dessert away and walking a few extra steps and, doing the sit-ups after your abs are already crying for help, right? Like the gritty, sweaty part of it isn't the reward, but it's what leads to the reward. So this is your grind, but this gives you more energy for a more efficient, effective grind. So tracking like if you've ever been asked to keep a food journal or a time journal, Sandy asked us to keep a time journal, a week ago in Pace Setters because we have that time leak. We don't know a food journal, right? You're like, where are all these empty calories coming from? Suddenly you realize, oh, I'm not putting a tablespoon of creamer in my coffee. I'm putting 4 tablespoons of, flavored creamer in my iced coffee, which takes your calorie count from 70 to 280. Think of that for a minute. That's a very good visual. Like a
Mm.
tablespoon of decadent creamer is like usually about 70 calories. And most of us, if we have a big tall cup of iced coffee, we'll put a quarter cup of that creamer in. It's 280 calories. Most of us would not mindlessly eat 300 calories if we were having a fitness goal, right? So it's that tracking that like when you have to write it on a piece of paper or enter it into a digital log where you're like, whoa, that was not aligned with my goal, right? But also, like when you get to color the circle of your hydration, or like I think we're familiar a lot of times with our physical tracking of daily life. Most of us, by the time we get to adulthood, have experienced that somewhere. That's a skill set that transfers into this, and it's the tracking makes you more intentional. So I know that the bubble sheet sounds fun and it's a good visual, but it aligns your subconscious with making inspired decisions and following through on action. So Danny gave you all the categories and all of the tools, but what you're not going to see until you've done this for a few weeks is you can go back and look at your bubble sheets and your results are going to change over time. Like you are going to become more efficient. You are going to become more effective just from the activity and the tracking because it starts to align intention and action along with your goal poster. You'll be surprised like how many times you sent out a survey that maybe you forgot to follow up on, but now it's on the sheet, it's on the goal poster, it's on the time calendar, and you're going to see like, wow, I have more team members based on doing the same amount of work. So that's kind of the backside of the tracking is the tracking makes you more intentional with the activity, but it also becomes to make the activity more efficient. I think, Danny, you can agree, like your booking attempts now, it takes you less booking attempts to get the same amount of bookings.
Yep.
Like I know I was probably 1 out of every 8 or 9 when I started. Now I'm probably 1 out of every 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
because when I was 8 or 9, I was like, how can I fine tune this? How can I fine tune this? Just like your party average will go. When you start holding 2 parties a week, initially you just want to coach your hostess to hold, but eventually you want to coach your hostess to partner with you, So in the beginning, you're like, okay, I just need to get them to hold, right? But then over time, you're like, dude, I'm not getting outside sales. I could probably get another couple $100 in sales without anything but a couple of sentences and an incentive, right? So you're doing the same amount of work, same amount of time, becoming far more effective and efficient. So I think that Danny's laid it out to be so simple that like we say, Mary Kay is not a complicated business. It's not an easy business, but it's a simple business, you know? So the part that's not easy is you've got to discipline yourself to do the work. But when you simplify it like this, you'll realize over time you're going to be more and more and more effective. And if you need to convince yourself, if you are skeptical and you're watching the YouTube replay and you're skeptical, put a little plate emoji in there, because we could use again the food as an analogy. Just tomorrow, I want you to write down everything that you put in your mouth. Just one day, whether you have a fitness goal right now or not. And at the end of the day, you will see that the following day you will be more intentional with those choices just because of an awareness. And this is really that. This gives you this awareness that, are you aligning with your intended outcome? So
Awesome. Yay. So we are cheering you on. We would absolutely love it if you sent us your pictures every week of your bubble sheets or your IPA
oh my
sheets, your weekly
gosh.
plan sheets, your 6 list. Send it
Yeah.
all. Send it all. I will be thrilled.
So you are the
Can't believe.
CEO, CFO, the scheduler, the executor of your own Mary Kay Corporation, right? Your very own Mary Kay businesses. But you could think of us like your regional sales manager, right? Like you've got to have some accountability, and so that you can go in for your advanced training, right? Like that's like if you were in any other business, you would be showing your tools and your effectiveness. You know, if you were a telemarketer, they'd say, "Did you make your 200 calls this week?" You know, or this shift, depending on. So you ask yourself, am I aligning my work with my desired outcome? And if
Mm,
you're not sure, it's time to track.
yeah. Awesome. We'll have a fabulous last week of July. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Oh, where's the end button? I can't find it. Do, do, do.